Okay, so get ready because today we are taking a deep dive, and it's a doozy. We're cracking open the MrBeast playbook. That leaked employee handbook. We got it.
Yeah, this isn't your average HR manual. This is like a master class in building a YouTube empire from the guy who's actually done it.
It's wild. He's giving away, well, maybe not all, but a lot of his secrets. Everything from like how he structures his videos to, I don't know, airlifting houses for fun.
Hmm.
But let's start with data, because if there's one thing this document makes clear, it's that MrBeast, or I guess Jimmy Donaldson, is all about the data.
Oh, absolutely. He breaks down all these insights you wouldn't expect. Like, he's obsessed with understanding exactly what makes a video go viral.
I mean, we all kind of know he's got that figured out, but seeing it laid out is crazy.
He dives deep into metrics. Click-through rate, average view duration, audience retention, all that. He even talks about how they tested different lighting in the first few seconds of a video.
Really?
Yeah, they found a direct correlation between good lighting and whether someone kept watching or not.
Wow. Lighting. Who knew it was so strategic?
It's all about those first few seconds, grabbing attention right away. These days, you don't have long to make an impression.
And speaking of making an impression, that's where this whole wow factor thing comes in, right? It's like
Yeah.
MrBeast's signature move. I mean, airlifting a house. Come on.
Yeah, obviously not all of us have that kind of budget. But it's about finding what makes you stand out, even on a smaller scale. What's your unique thing?
So it's about finding your niche, but like supersize.
Exactly. It's branding, but on another level.
Okay, but here's what I found interesting. For all the crazy ideas, he's also big on logic and understanding the why behind everything. It's not just about throwing money around, it's calculated.
Oh, absolutely. He talks about knowing your audience, what they respond to. He analyzes those YouTube retention graphs like they hold the secrets of the universe.
Which, I mean, for a content creator, they kind of do, right?
They really do. They show you exactly where people are engaged, where they're dropping off, all of it.
And that's got to be where this whole front load the value thing comes in, right?
Right. Give the viewers a reason to stick around right from the start.
Don't bury the good stuff, basically.
Exactly. He's big on respecting the viewer's time, especially with so much competition out there. He actually talks about strategically placing what he calls re-engagement points throughout a video.
Okay, what's a re-engagement point?
Basically, moments designed to recapture the viewer's attention if it starts to fade. Like a surprise twist, a funny moment, something unexpected.
Oh, okay. So like in his $10,000 a day prison video when like Chris Tyson suddenly becomes the guard.
Exactly. It's unexpected, it's hilarious, it brings the energy back up.
Okay, I get it. It's about pacing, keeping things interesting.
Exactly. It's about creating an experience, not just a video. And honestly, that's good advice for anyone creating anything, whether it's a YouTube video, a blog post, even a presentation.
So think about those moments, the things that'll stick with your audience. I like it.
And he's very clear about his goal, to make the absolute best YouTube videos possible. And for him, that's not about having the biggest budget. It's about truly understanding the platform and, more importantly, the viewers.
And he really seems to get that. Like, he's constantly evolving, trying new things, never settling for the same old formula.
Absolutely. And he acknowledges that in the handbook. He talks about how they've gone through a lot of different video styles, from those early days of donating to streamers to the whole I open to free phase.
Which, by the way, pure genius. But even with all the wild formats, there's always a clear structure, a beginning, a middle, and of course that satisfying payoff at the end.
It's classic storytelling, just with a MrBeast twist. He knows you need that sense of completion, that satisfying arc, to keep people coming back.
Like you've been on a ride, but a really well-planned ride.
Exactly.
Which, speaking of rides, sometimes those rides involve a lot of money, and MrBeast definitely has some thoughts on that, specifically how it should and shouldn't be used in his videos.
Oh, yeah. He addresses that whole perception that he just throws money at everything. He's aware of it.
But it's actually really interesting to see how he thinks about it. Like, he talks about using money strategically, creatively, to maximize the impact.
He wants the money to be part of the entertainment, not just the point of it.
Right, like he gives that example of giving away a year's supply of Doritos as a prize instead of, say, a huge cash prize.
Which, let's be honest, is way funnier and more memorable.
He actually says that the Doritos are cheaper, but way more entertaining.
It's about those unexpected moments of delight, the things that people will talk about and share.
It's not always about the biggest number, it's about the thought behind it. And he encourages his team to think that way too. He actually uses the motto, creativity saves money.
Which is actually a pretty good motto for life in general, right? Resourcefulness,
Yeah.
thinking outside the box.
Those are valuable skills no matter what you do. And this whole idea of resourcefulness, it goes beyond just money. He's all about building relationships, using connections to get things done, even if it means going against the grain.
He wants his team to be resourceful, to find a way.
He actually tells them, when it comes to getting things done, no does not mean no.
He wants them to push through obstacles, explore every option.
He gives this great example, like if they need to film at a Dollar Tree and the manager says no, he doesn't want them to just give up. He wants them to call other Dollar Trees, reach out on social media, maybe even try to contact the CEO of Dollar Tree. Like, why not?
It speaks to a certain fearlessness, a willingness to hustle. And let's be honest, it's clearly worked out pretty well for him.
Totally. But on the flip side, he's also a big believer in, actual communication within the team.
Oh, definitely. He's all about clarity.
He talks about the importance of what he calls higher forms of communication.
Which basically means just talk to each other directly.
Exactly. He says so much time gets wasted and misunderstandings happen when people rely too heavily on emails and texts, especially for important stuff.
He's not wrong.
Like, you can't tell someone's being sarcastic or about to have a meltdown over email.
Exactly.
So he wants everyone on the same page, especially when it comes to those crucial elements of a video.
Those make or break details.
He calls them critical components, which, okay, maybe a little dramatic, but it gets the point across.
It does, and it's something so many organizations struggle with, clear communication. He's basically saying, build those relationships, have those face-to-face conversations, and don't be afraid to pick up the phone.
Directness is key, which I guess makes sense, considering the guy's personality. But speaking of personality, this document gets surprisingly philosophical when he starts talking about his creative process, like what he's actually looking for in the content itself.
He gets deep.
He actually says, and I quote, "The goal of our content is to excite me."
Which, again, that self-awareness is crucial. He knows that he's not just making videos, he's building a brand. And that brand is an extension of himself.
So if he's not excited by it, it's not going to work.
Exactly. He's looking for those ideas that spark joy, that push boundaries, that make him say, wow, I can't believe we're actually doing this.
Which is basically how we all feel watching his videos.
Yeah.
It's like, how did they even come up with this? But it's interesting because even though he's all about these big, crazy ideas, he also talks about the importance of simplicity.
He understands that for something to connect with millions of people, it needs to be universally accessible.
Right. It can be wild, but it also has to make sense. He actually says that for a video to be successful, it needs to be easy to understand, no matter who's watching.
It's about finding that balance between the spectacular and the relatable.
And that's a tough balance to strike, but he seems to have found a way.
He really has, and that philosophy extends to how he approaches brand deals, which, let's be honest, can be a make-or-break element in the content game.
Oh, for sure. One bad brand deal, and you can lose your audience's trust in a heartbeat.
But MrBeast, he's got a whole strategy for that too. He talks about treating brand deals like part of the entertainment, not just some annoying interruption.
Which is a breath of fresh air, honestly. We've all suffered through those painful product placements.
Right. But MrBeast, he wants those integrations to feel natural, like they actually belong in the video.
Which, again, goes back to respecting the viewer's time.
Exactly. Don't insult their intelligence by shoving a product in their face. Make it part of the story. And it's working. He shows the data in the handbook. Their approach to brand deals barely makes a dent in viewer engagement. People actually watch those parts of the videos.
It's impressive. It's like he's cracked the code on making branded content that doesn't suck. But, okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Hold on to your hats, because MrBeast has some thoughts about the information diet.
This is where we see a whole other side to him. It's surprisingly philosophical.
So we're back, diving deep into the mind of MrBeast, and honestly, this employee handbook is like a masterclass in, well, being MrBeast. We just scratched the surface of his information diet.
Right. He gets deep about what he consumes and how it influences his creativity, which, kind of makes you think about your own habits.
Totally. He's basically saying what we watch, read, listen to, it all matters.
It shapes how we see the world, the ideas we come up with, all of it.
And he wants his team to be like, information sponges, soaking it all up. He specifically calls out the writers and directors, saying they need to be on top of everything.
Yeah.
Memes, trends, news, you name it.
He wants them plugged in, man. Aware of what's happening in the world, what people are talking about.
Which, I mean, that makes sense. You can't create it in a vacuum.
Exactly. Gotta fill that creative well.
And it's not just about following the obvious stuff either. He's big on finding inspiration in the most unexpected places.
He even tells a story about trying to get permission to film in a castle.
Oh yeah, what was that about?
The owner said no because he was busy building a giant Lego catapult.
Oh, what?
A Lego catapult. Can you imagine?
Okay, that's pretty on brand for Mr. Beast, actually.
Right. But his point is, instead of seeing that as a dead end, his team should be thinking, giant Lego catapult. How do we work that into a video?
That's amazing.
It's about finding the opportunity in everything.
Like, even when things go wrong or seem weird, there's still a chance to make something creative out of it.
He's all about turning those setbacks into content gold.
Which, honestly, that's a pretty good life skill in general, right?
Being adaptable, seeing the potential in unexpected places.
Totally. So we've got data, creativity, this crazy Mr. Beast optimism. What else is in this playbook? This is where things get really interesting because it's not just about building a YouTube channel. It's about building a legacy.
Yeah, he gets pretty real about his vision for the kind of impact he wants to have on the world.
And a big part of that is philanthropy. Like, he's serious about giving back.
It's not just an afterthought or a PR stunt. It's ingrained in his brand.
It's really cool, actually. He talks about wanting to use his platform to raise awareness for causes he cares about.
Inspiring others to give back, too.
And it's not just talk. He gets into specifics. Like, there are actual guidelines in this document for how to incorporate philanthropy into videos.
He wants it to be authentic, impactful, not just tacked on for views.
And it's clear he walks the walk. He talks about all these charitable projects he's involved in, like planting trees, cleaning up the oceans.
Leading by example.
Exactly. And it's not just him either. He wants his whole team to be a part of it.
He encourages them to find causes they're passionate about.
He even gives them the resources and support to make it happen.
It's another example of his leadership style, empowering people to make a difference.
And this whole focus on purpose, it goes beyond just philanthropy. He talks about the responsibility that comes with having such a massive platform. Like, he's aware of the influence he has.
Especially with his younger audience.
Right, and he talks about being mindful of that, wanting to use that influence to promote positivity.
Kindness, even.
Yeah, and he's very clear about wanting to avoid negativity or harmful content, even if it might get more views, which is kind of a radical stance these days when so much of the internet is driven by, outrage.
It really is. He's basically saying, my values matter more than clicks.
Which I respect that a lot.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that we all have that choice to make.
Totally. And he even talks about wanting to use his platform to promote education, which, yeah, it might seem a little ironic coming from the guy who does, all those videos.
Right, like explosions and giant puzzles aren't exactly known for their educational value.
But he actually makes a good point. He's like, why not make learning fun?
Combine entertainment and education in a way that actually works.
Yeah, like his video where he explained the stock market using a game. Genius.
Or that time he created a real-life version of Among Us.
So good. He's constantly pushing the boundaries, trying new things.
He's not content with the status quo, that's for sure. He wants to change the game.
And he's doing it. But here's the thing. Even though Mr. Beast is clearly operating on another level, I think there's a lot we can all learn from his approach.
Absolutely. Like, we might not all have his resources, but the underlying principles are universal.
It's about finding what you're passionate about and going for it wholeheartedly.
Building a great team, taking risks, and never, ever settling for good enough.
So well said. And, sometimes a little dose of that Mr. Beast optimism is all it takes to spark something amazing. And we're back, still swimming around in this Mr. Beast employee handbook. And let me tell you, this thing is deep. We've talked about his creative process, his whole philanthropy thing, but now it's like getting into the nitty-gritty of how he runs his empire.
Yeah, this section is all about his leadership style, how he builds and motivates a team. And it's, well, let's just say it's pretty unconventional.
Understatement of the year. Okay, so he's big on what he calls A players, and he's very specific about what that means to him.
He's not talking about, like, the star athlete or whatever. He wants people who are obsessed with what they do, who want to be the best, but are also constantly learning and growing.
He even says he doesn't believe in those traditional yearly reviews. Like, who needs them, right?
Instead, he's all about giving people more responsibility, more money even, as soon as they've proven they can handle it.
So it's like a meritocracy, but like on fast forward.
Exactly. It's all about results. He doesn't care about job titles or how long someone's been there. It's all about what they can do, what they bring to the table.
I kind of love that, actually. Cut the BS, show me what you got.
Yeah. Right. And he encourages that kind of ambition in his employees. Like, he wants them to come to him with their dream career path.
No way, really.
Yeah. He's like, tell me what you want to achieve and let's make it happen.
That's wild. Most bosses, they don't even want to hear about your weekend plans, let alone your 5-year plan.
Exactly. But Mr. Beast, he's different. He wants his employees to grow, to aim high. He even says, this isn't a stepping stone. This is your final destination. Like, he wants to build a company where people can have long, fulfilling careers.
Which is kind of unheard of in that world, right?
Yeah.
YouTube, it's all about, like, the next viral thing.
It's true. But he's trying to build something different, a company with a real sense of community, almost like a family.
He actually uses the word family at one point, and I know that can be a loaded term in a work context.
Totally.
But you can tell he's being sincere. He wants to create that kind of loyalty and connection within his team.
Which makes sense. I mean, they're under a lot of pressure, constantly innovating, trying to outdo themselves. They need to have each other's backs.
For sure. That's got to be intense over there.
Mm.
But he seems to be killing it. He ends the document on this super optimistic note, talking about his vision for the company's future. And it's huge. Like, he sees them growing exponentially.
World domination, basically.
Basically. But it's not just about the numbers for him. He wants his employees to be fully invested, to become invaluable to the company. And in return, well, he promises them the world. Incredible experiences, a fun, challenging work environment, and of course, life-changing money.
Hard to argue with that. I mean, after reading this document, you can see why people love working for him.
It's inspiring. Honestly, he's built something really special.
He has. And it's a good reminder that success isn't just about talent or luck. It's about vision, dedication, and building a team that believes in that vision as much as you do.
Totally. It's been quite a ride, this deep dive into the mind of Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
He's a lot more complex than people give him credit for, right?
Oh, absolutely. He's a strategic thinker, a creative powerhouse, and a surprisingly thoughtful leader.
And, dare I say, a little bit of a philosopher king.
Maybe just a little bit, but hey, whatever works, right?
Right. So, as we wrap things up here, the question is, what can we all take away from the Mr. Beast playbook? What resonated with you?
For me, it's the importance of authenticity and passion. Mr. Beast has found a way to turn his passions into a global brand. And while his methods might be a little unorthodox, the underlying message is universal. Find what excites you, work hard, and don't be afraid to be different.
Love it. And sometimes a little dose of that Mr. Beast level ambition is all it takes to shake things up and create something truly amazing. That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.
We'll be back next week with a brand new document ready to dissect and analyze. See you then.